Well, today we have Patrik Martin here from Patoro Cigars. Patrik, welcome to Frisco.
Thank you.
How do you like Texas?
You're not in San Francisco, in California? No, I'm joking around. At first, we have here these three different lines. This is the Series P with the orange band. There we are using a younger tobacco. Then we have the Gran Añejo Reserva, which it's my favorite blend. Why it has a 7-year-old Antuyo tobacco inside, a Havana wrapper from Ecuador, and then we have the vintage cigar, the same blend like the Gran Añejo Reserva, but with a wrapper from the DR, an older wrapper. And then we have the Brazil cigar.
Oh, okay.
And why we are calling this cigar Brazil, why the wrapper is a Cuba. That's a hybrid between a Cuban and a Brazilian seed. That's the reason.
Interesting.
But the blend, all the tobacco comes from the DR.
In our conversations, you've lived all over the world. What are some of the other places you've been? Well, it sounds like you've been everywhere, but what are some of the places that you've lived for a while?
Okay, I was growing up in Olten, Hauenstein. That's the heart in Switzerland. I have to tell you that, you understand a little bit my background. I study economy, you call that in German, Kaufmännische Schule. And also on the side, I was playing ice hockey. I wasn't a great player, but still was enough to get a car, an apartment. I was young, dumb, and full of energy. And some friends told me, Patrik, go to Mexico. You don't believe it, but there you can play ice hockey. I think you're joking around. No. You have 7 teams there, 3 at ice stadium in Guadalajara, Monterrey, and in Mexico City. And I think, good idea, but you will earn so a lot of money. It's only a little bit free beers and have a good time.
Right.
And you will learn surely the language. And I made it.
And how did you get your start in tobacco, and where did you get your start? And maybe just where your path was over the last 30 years from where you were to where you are today.
The funny thing was, which one was in Mexico, I always had a small feeling for business. And I was 21 and I sold, and I was responsible for the export sea freight. And this time they had some cigars for $1 and said, hey, $1 cigar, let's shipment that to the Switzerland. I was then going back to Switzerland. My first wife, she was pregnant, and I had to look for a job. And I sent in a CV to the company Oettinger. And in this time I had not an idea what I'm doing, but they are doing. This was a trading company, tobacco with different labels, which they have made the distribution for the Swiss market. I sent it to Dr. Snyder, and he passed my CV to the HR manager. It was Edi Zeller. And the funny thing was, he was also an ice hockey player. He called me and then we talked about more or less a half hour. And he told me, listen, Patrik, I called the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation, and I saw that he was never a great talent, but a fighter. And I still asked him, listen, Edi, are you looking for a job? You have a job? And he said, no, we don't have a job, but let's have a meeting with Dr. Snyder, why we are now growing. We are producing now, we have both a label that's called Davidoff. They are producing in Cuba. We are making now the changement from Cuba to the DR. And we need guys like you who speak Spanish. And they create for me a job. And I was the first assistant of the general director from Davidoff. That was Raymond Scheurer. And I made all the trips from Switzerland to the DR. And I had an absolutely great time. It was one of the best, most beautiful time in my life.
So how long ago was that?
That was exactly 29 years ago.
29 years ago.
And
so 1 year into the business, you're working right under the top guy at Davidoff.
Exactly right on the top. The second huge project with the hat I was really proud and was an absolutely phenomenal, beautiful person. I learned a lot of him, not on the tobacco side, but what that means, how to treat the people on the human side was Avo. Avo was my baby. I was the first brand manager in Europe for Avo. We bought in this time the brand from Avo, while he was producing also with Henki Kellner, and I made the introduction in Switzerland, and we had the Avo session, and it was a beautiful, beautiful time which I had.
Now, how much time did you spend with Avo?
7 years.
Wow.
7 years, till I quit the job there.
But you're saying it wasn't as much about tobacco as it was to treat people.
Avo, it was so a great personality, and he loved everything what he had done. That means he was a beautiful, incredible piano player. He
Right.
wrote some beautiful songs, and he was a person of heart.
That's something the industry needs today.
I'm totally agree with you. It's everything what you're doing in your life, and do it with patience and with love. Still, I'm 30 years in the tobacco business and have still not an idea about tobacco. I'm every day learning.
Yes.
Every day I'm learning.
That's fantastic. So, what made you decide to start your company? And how long have you been doing it?
After 13 years by Davidoff, Dr. Snyder, and he was a great, great, great personality. He was going on the board, and we received a new general director, CEO worldwide, Dr. Gino, and the corporate philosophy changed totally. In this time, he was a famous, really famous name, Davidoff, worldwide. If I showed my card, I was going to the hotel and say, oh, the people treat you like a rock star. But the philosophy changed so much that that was not more my philosophy, and I took the decision to leave the company. I was the first person, the high management. I had only the board in front of me. That I took this decision to leave, and the people doesn't accept that in this time. So listen, what's going on? But the thing is, I ask always myself, what's the meaning of life? To be happy, I think that should be not a goal. You have to be happy. You have to be happy. Is the goal to make a lot of money? I don't think so. Why, happiness you can't buy. But when I say always my people, we are working together, do it with patience, with love. And if you are not happy, change something. By the decision is on your side. I done that. I made that. And now, of course, I'm not afraid. I was 36 years old, and I was also in the military service in Switzerland. Like, by the way, everyone has to do that. And there I learned we have quality goals first, and the quantity goals will follow. What I like to say with them, I believe and I'm sure that quality always will survive.
Right.
That was the reason I create my own brand. But of course, I'm not dumb. I knew with whom I'm working together. And there was enough smart, and through my knowledge in the market, I knew the best people in growing tobacco are the family Reyes. And I had the great chance to work with Augusto Reyes, and for me and his brother Leo Reyes, Emilio Reyes, and they are really the rock stars cultivating tobacco for me.
Right.
We are arrogant sometimes, but we are the best.
We're going to be proud to have it on our floor. We hope that you come back often, and we do a lot of events, and we have fun.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
No, I say always, for me, eat less, but the best. Drink less, but the best. And say smoke less, but only cigars from the family Reyes.
I like that. Well, we welcome you to our family. That's our hashtag.
Thank you.
Welcome to the family.
Thank you.
You
so
bet.
much.
You bet.